You know his music, but unless you've read Yanni's new book, you probably don't know why he once stopped composing music. Now the melodies have returned to Yanni's life with a new album, greatly enhanced by human voices. And Yanni's voicing thoughts he once kept private. In this interview, you'll see only here on Art Express. This Greek-born American resident once nearly said goodbye forever to millions of fans. But now he's welcoming his public back to concert halls and bookstores. He's going public too about his private life.
How long have you been here?
2 hours.
2 hours.
People will wait for hours to meet the composer.
I'm very honored to meet you.
And get his signature on an autobiography they've been waiting for years.
I felt it was the right time. I had taken 5 years out from my career. I had plenty of time for introspection and retrospection.
Readers will learn how Yanni Chrysomanis was raised in Greece, where he broke a national swimming record at the age of 14. While the water beckoned him, the call of music was also strong.
Music was a passion in the family, and people played guitar and they sang, and we watched it as kids, and we wanted to imitate mom and dad a lot. I started writing music when I was a teenager. I didn't understand why, but I just, whenever I sat to play an instrument, whether it was the piano or the guitar, I just improvised. I'd like to play other things. I didn't just want to play things I heard on the radio or was popular at the time. I never understood what that was, but that was the beginning of the development of the creative process later on.
The book reveals his musical shorthand, an alternative to note reading he created himself. The text also details his move to America in 1972 to study psychology in Minneapolis. That's also where he played keyboards in a rock band before selling more than 10 million albums under his own name. His first name, the name of the book, Yanni, in words.
I think it will give them a more complete picture into the human being and what makes me tick, and the battles that I have fought to get my music heard around the world, and how much fun I had with it too.
Yanni says the fun had faded in 1998. Fans will read how at the height of his 20-year career, the music stopped.
In 98, after the last world tour, I went through a very dark moment in my life. I walked away from my career for a whole year. I never played piano for a whole year.
And his 9-year romance with Linda Evans was no longer harmonious. He says her support and media savvy had helped him advance as a performing artist. What did Linda Evans mean?
She's critical in my development, essential for, of course, my success in my career. But she's still is a great confidant, one of my best friends. I trust her completely, and I attribute a lot of my success to her.
And your autobiography does deal with the end of the relationship?
Well, it was a very painful period in my life because at the end of the last world tour, I really burned out. And as you burn out, you go into depression. And during the last 6 months, our relationship was really strained. And we decided to separate. And I think mainly because of neglecting her. I got so consumed by what I was doing. I think I neglected her long enough. So I found myself at the end of the world tour losing my career because I couldn't do it anymore. And losing the woman in my life. I was very lost.
What healed you?
One of the most important things that I did was I run away. I went home to Greece and I hung out with my mom and dad. I spent a couple of months there. I simplified my life, walked away from my career, walked away from all the high stress and high speed, simplified completely, and that was the beginning. that gave me the first reduction in the pain that I was experiencing. After that, I traveled extensively around the world, and I took myself out of being in the focus. I've been in the center of attention now for 20 years, and it was kind of nice to forget Yanni and get away from the career and all the fuss everybody was making about it. And that was another factor in my healing.
Eventually, Yanni focused on his career again. He built his own studio in Florida, near the ocean. In late 1999, music flowed back into his life. He finished one album and kept recording.
I just began recording music in the studio, and there was plenty of time for experimentation, and I like this kind of freedom. I didn't have a lot of this in my career because it was usually album tour. Album tour was always very tight time constraints. This time it was a lot more fun because I wasn't setting forth to do an album. And as I began experimenting and having fun, just all of a sudden an album emerged and it took shape.
Besides the book, Yanni's also signing copies of Ethnicity, his latest CD.
There's a lot of ethnic content. The rhythms tend to be common. A lot of the world's cultures and musical genres are represented on the album. There's a lot of different influences that are put together, they're blended, if you will. And I think that's why the title Ethnicity, I think, is very appropriate.
He didn't make the album as a political statement, but Yanni says recent world events did impact the sound.
It affects me, it affects the music. It's really painful to watch. To see that in the final analysis, when all is said and done, we still settle our differences by killing each other. I'm still hopeful, and people may think I'm a dreamer, but I still think we will get along in the end. We'll figure it out because we have to. And I do know that music represents our soul. So that gives me hope for humanity. You know, emotions are universal. The feelings that a Chinese grandpa has for his grandson are the same as an American counterpart. In my music, I describe emotions. I think that's why it connects with people all over the world.
Yanni has performed all over the world. He was the first person to hold a major concert at the Taj Mahal in India, and the first Western artist to perform at the Forbidden City in China. And this year, he says he's enjoying the public exposure.
It's always amazing to come in contact with the fans and hear their stories, and they all want to tell me little things about how my music affects them. And when you look into their eyes, it's one thing to read a letter, it's another thing to see somebody's eyes and when they're telling you their story. And I think the fans heal me also. You know, they tell me I give them a lot, but I get a lot from them. And sometimes I think they give me more back than I give them.
After he'd let his creativity shut down for a while, Yanni says he's glad the music is lifting him up once again.
When you come out of a dark period like that and emerge free, and you start enjoying life again, and you feel like coming back and working in your career and put a band together as magnificent as the band I'm working with right now, I think that's cause for celebration.